Good, y'all? Welcome back to Appreciate Greatness, man. I hope y'all saw my first two draft videos. One did really good, the second did alright. First one, obviously, first mock draft. Second one was just going over my favorite players, and not necessarily the best players in the draft, but just players that I like and I like to watch, and I really enjoyed how they played basketball and played how their games. I really enjoyed their games. This one, as y'all know, 2 round mock draft, man, and this is going to allow me the opportunity to talk more about some guys because I really didn't cover some things of those guys in the first round, and I also can talk about more players in general, also switching up the draft order. So, number one, we know it's going to be Vic. We know a lot about Vic at this point. I would say one fallacy is he's just not as good of a shooter as people think he is. He's a little streaky, a little inconsistent at times, but still a fantastic shooter. And still, we saw it against the G League Ignite game. He was 7 for 11 in that game. He was fantastic. Him and Scoot really stepped up in a really bright stage. And speaking of Scoot, I have him going number 2 now. Scoot is that athletic, do-it-all guard. The shot is really developing. You watch him last year at the G League Ignite to this year, and that jumper developed, and now you're watching these tryouts, these tryout videos come along, and that shot, man, it looks much better than it did just a year and a half ago. And so I really trust the jumper to get there. I think the defensively he's got all the tools. He'll probably be one of those guys who you look at average, below average, and then right when the playoffs come, he's going to turn up. He's going to be a solid defender. And I think the Hornets just don't need to overthink this. I think you can pair Scoot with LaMelo. I don't think you're going to have many problems there. I think LaMelo is very underrated at this point. And, he's 6'6", 6'7". I don't know what he's listed. He may be 6'8" listed. These are two really good guards. One's a great playmaker. One's a great scorer. Scoot's a really great scorer. He can play make. I think he's more of a scorer, and he's literally the Russell Westbrook mold coming out of college. Hey, this guy's probably a shooting guard. Well, Scoot's probably a shooting guard, but he's gonna be a great point guard. At 3, not doing any trades. I just think that's pointless. So Blazers are gonna pick in this world, and the perfect pick is Brandon Miller. You get Brandon Miller here, the wing. You throw Dame. I don't love throwing Anthony. I would say you throw Dame, Shaden Sharp, Brandon Miller, Jeremy Grant, Yusuf Nurkic out there, and that's a very respectable young 5, and you're combining those two timelines like you wanted to. I really like that for the Blazers, and you still got Anthony Simons, who is this guy is a legit player. Brandon Miller, great length. I like the shades of Paul George, tag that he's got. I think the dribbling needs to come. I think it's got a long way to go. I think defensively he's got kind of a long way to go, but he's a good defender. A lot of guys in this draft are really good defenders. At 4, this is a pivot spot for me. I'm going to go Anthony Black instead of Amen here. Amen, great playmaker, great athlete, just incredible. I think the Rockets need a guy like Anthony Black who can really anchor the team offensively and defensively. And, normally when you talk about defensive anchors, you're talking about a center. I think Anthony Black is a good enough defender to be a Drew Holiday, a Marcus Smart type guy, except he's 3-4 inches taller than them, right? And he's a fantastic playmaker. The 3.9 assists here, it doesn't tell the story. He's a fantastic playmaker. He focuses on setting his teammates up, and he's going to be playing alongside Şengün, Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Jae'Sean Tate, Tari Eason. I know I'm disrespecting someone. I can't remember exactly, but he's playing against good scorers, good players, and he's playing with them. And I think that's a good pick for them, and one they should really think about. At 5, Pistons, I've been seeing this a lot. I'm going Jarris Walker. I really like that fit. He's a do-it-all guy. He's a good defender. he's just that do-it-all. He does a little bit of everything, and I do like him a lot. I think Taylor Hendricks is better, and those two kind of get compared a lot because they kind of have that same style of game, and they're the same position, same age roughly, and I like the Pistons going Jarris here, and at 6, best player available, BPA right here for them, for the Magic. You love Markelle Fultz, and you could probably say, hey, Markelle start, Cole come off the bench, throw a in at the 2 here, and ride with it. But you could also say Franz slide over to the 4, Markelle slide over to the 2. We're throwing Amen at the 3. Amen can play 3 different positions. He's super athletic. He's a good defender, and of course he's it's really hard because these guys are OTE players, so we don't really understand the competition. We don't understand how to scout it yet. Basically, what I was looking at it as is these are kids playing high school players, right? And I think even if he's playing high school players, the tools are there for a min. I like him at 6. At 7, I think just the most Pacers player on the board is Taylor Hendricks. Being able to get a guy like Taylor Hendricks, you probably still want to bring Ben Mathurin off the bench. I get that, but being able to run a lineup of Reese, I was thinking of someone. Ben Mathurin, Taylor Hendricks, Miles Turner. I'm missing someone. Buddy Hield. There it is. Being able to run Reese at the 1, Buddy Hield at the 2, Ben Mathurin at the 3, and Taylor Hendricks and Miles Turner inside is incredible. And they can all space the floor. That's a great 5 out. Ben Mathurin can get to work. Tyrese can get to work. And you're going to have spot-up shooters everywhere. Good defense. I love that lineup. I love that team in general. And I love this fit here because Taylor Hendricks, great spot-up shooter, great rim protector, very strong as you can see. And I like the fit. At 8, with the trading of Bradley Beal, it becomes a Cam Whitmore or a Sar Thompson. Because I had this being a point guard, 100%. They need a point guard. They don't now. They're going to trade a lot of guys, I think. Or actually, I think these two are expiring. Kristaps and Kuzma. I think his best player available and best project available, Asar Thompson here. Now that leaves the Jazz with an interesting pick, and I think they do go Cam Whitmore. And Cam Whitmore is a guy, strong guard. I think he's a 2 guard to me. They do need a point guard, which would be Cason Wallace. I don't hate the idea of a Cason Wallace here, man. I think we're gonna go Cason Wallace, and the sliding if Cam Whitmore continues. Cason Wallace, another great defender, good playmaker. Shots coming along slowly. Self-creation's coming along slowly. And I think with these Kentucky guards, they always get underlooked, and then they turn out to be studs. I like Cason Wallace at 9. Now, 10. This is where it gets interesting, because I think exactly what they need, the Mavericks need, is a guy in Derek Lively who can really, protect the paint, pick and roll, great in the pick and roll, good hands, great lob threat. But you have Cam Whitmore available. And that's what makes it tough. I think they're going to go Lively still. I think you still go Lively. You probably trade down and then go Lively. Because I don't think there are many, unless the Hawks grab them, maybe you trade down with the Hawks. And they grab Cam Whitmore there. But I think you go ahead and get him. And that leaves the Magic here with Cam Whitmore, who in this world they were debating on taking him or Min. And they're going to grab Cam. And they're going to get out of the first round very, very happy. The Thunder. Having the option of Grady Dick here for a team that doesn't have a ton of shooting around Shea is incredible. But you also have Bilal Coulibaly, who I was going to have at 9. I was going to have him go to the Jazz because he's a spectacular player. He's a great project. I think they still may go Bilal Coulibaly. You never know with Presti. Grady Dick, fantastic shooter, great cutter, great feel for the game, solid rebounder. Bilal Coulibaly has slowly, I wouldn't even say slowly, quickly over this year, just risen and risen and risen up the draft boards. He's a thundery guy, and I'm gonna take him. I think that's the pick there. The Raptors, this is a really interesting spot because we know Fred VanVleet leaving. Now what do you do, right? I think you take a guy like a Keontae George or a Jalen Hood-Schifino here. But I'm not sure which, really. Maybe even a Grady Dick. I think at this point, you have OG Anunoby. You're probably looking to trade him. I think they're going to go to Keontae George here. Keontae showed a lot of defensive flashes, a lot of playmaking flashes. We know he's a great scorer. He wasn't super efficient, and that's what a lot of people look at, and they're like, oh, I don't like him because he wasn't efficient in college. That's stupid. That's so stupid. Efficiency doesn't matter that much. Keontae George, not in college at least, in the NBA it matters, but I like Keontae George there, and that allows a fantastic shooter in Grady Dick to fall to the Pelicans at 14, and the Pelicans get more great wing players. I think I like that. I think they need still a good point guard and, like a Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul to the Pelicans is an underrated thing. He's not that great a defender anymore, and that alongside CJ is kind of worrisome, but I do love Grady Dick there. At 15, rumors of DeJounte going. I see Kobe Buffkin as kind of another DeJounte. Skinny, good defender, pretty solid offensive players. Kobe worries me a little bit just because of his lack of creation, but it's literally DeJounte Murray at its fine. Like, he is shades of DeJounte written all over him. And I don't hate the Kobe Buffkin pick here. Jazz picking next. Who else? Let's scroll down here. I really think this is a trade spot for them. I don't think you go Nick Smith Jr., who's 6'5" point guard, very skinny. He's probably your sixth man. You do that. Kobe Buffkin can play the 1 and the 2. He's good defender. He's really a winning player. Jalen Hood-Schifino, same way. He was a little inconsistent, a little inefficient at times. I think it's Kobe Buffkin here. I think I talked myself into it. At 16, the Jazz. I think they're just, after you get a guy like Cason Wallace who's really solid, you're not going to have to worry about really like developing him just because you kind of know what he's going to be. You know he's going to be good. You have your choice of some developmental pieces still on the board. You look at it, you have Nick Smith Jr., who, like I said, you need a point guard. You may want to move Cason to the 2, young bull, Colin Sexton, what happens there. Maybe just move him out. But you have Nick Smith Jr. You also have Leonard Miller, Gregory Jackson, Ryan Rupert. I think you go Leonard Miller here. I think Nick Smith Jr., because the injuries continue to fall. There's some worries about him too. He was a little inefficient when he played. I think it's just the injuries and the lack of production. That's scary. That scares teams away from you. I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think he's a great prospect even. And if he played the full year, I think he's a top 10 pick because he's a 6'5" point guard. But I think Leonard Miller here, 6'11", 6'10" guy, this says, who can just do it all, man. Dribble, pass, score, whatever you need. I think he put together one of the best G League Ignite single seasons I've ever seen. They had some heavy hitters, Jalen Green, Scoot, obviously, Dyson Daniels, Jaden Hardy. Like, they've had some great players out there. And I think Leonard Miller put together one of the greatest G League years we've ever seen. 17, clear as day, Jordan Hawkins spot. The Lakers need shooting. Jordan Hawkins, best shooter in the draft. 18, this is a toss-up for me. Is it Nick Smith? Is it Jalen Hood-Schifino? The Heat, I think it's guard play. I think they need more guard play, and that sounds crazy. Jalen Hood-Schifino fits the build of exactly what the Heat are, and that is a scrappy, good defender who, he needed a chance. At Mount Verde High School, he didn't really have the ball in his hands a ton. And at Indiana, he had the ball in his hands a lot, and he made plays out of the pick and roll. And I think him having a guy like Bam in the pick and roll would be nasty. And I think he's a perfect fit at 18. Even I've never had him go as low as 18, but I love the fit with the Heat, and that's just a perfect landing spot for him. At 19, I think a lot of teams are starting to get, scared out of Jet Howard. I really do. I don't think he's fast enough. I don't think he does enough things on the court except for shooting. Normally, I would probably have him go here. I think now I'm going to go Noah Clowney. I like the stretch big potential. Obviously, only shot 28.3% from three, but the potential's there. He's a pretty solid defender, a pretty solid shot blocker. It's the wingspan. It's the potential. The offensive rebounding is fantastic. Great role guy out of the pick and roll, not just a role player. He is a good role player, though. He may take a year or two for them to develop, but I like that pick, and I like that fit. Now, Rockets, you could go Nick Smith Jr. I think here you go pure scorer, Bryce Sensabaugh. I mean pure scorer. He's got a great body type, great build. He's 6'5", 235, three-way scorer, great at using his strength. Look, it's 48% from the field, 40.5% from three, 83% from the free throw line. Not a good defender, but he is a great offensive player. I think if you're the Rockets, you need some of that. You need some pure scoring. Jalen Green is kind of that, but he's got some athleticism. We kind of saw him as, hey, he needs some time to build on his game. Bryce Sensabaugh, I think you could throw in an NBA game and he would get buckets. I truly think that. 21. I've seen a lot of stuff, Jet Howard here. I think with Nick Smith Jr. falling, they're obviously going Nick Smith Jr. So now that leaves you with Nick Smith Jr., Mikal Bridges, Ben Simmons. Let's look at this team. Cam Johnson, Seth Curry, Clax, Cam Thomas. This is a good team. What do they need? Get more developmental pieces. Nick Smith Jr., G.G. Jackson. G.G., good developmental piece. Doesn't play a lick of defense, but is a great offensive player. Also inefficient. Also inefficiency. I don't know if I mentioned it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I've seen a lot of that lately. It's making me mad. 23 to the Blazers. Derek Whitehead makes a lot of sense. Whitehead hurt a lot of the year. He had some games, though, where he showed it. He showed the signs of just being a good scorer. He's a great shooter. The foot problems really scare you, especially last year. Lack of explosiveness, just a lot of it. Hopefully, I could see him coming back good as new, but, just go watch the high school highlights. Go watch the college. It's a little sad. I think he's a good fit with this team, though. I think he's a good two guard who can really help you. Not necessarily a 3-and-D guy. He's probably more of a 3 and developmental D. Pause. But yeah, I mean that's what he is, though. At 24, Kings. Don't pair the Twins. I don't. To me, this is a weird spot for them. They need some rim protection. James Najee, I wouldn't even say he rim protects. He's just 7'7" wingspan. He's one of those guys, but he also doesn't stretch the floor at all. And you have Domantas Sabonis and James Najee on the court at the same time. That just doesn't sound good. I think here they go Olivier Maxine Prosper. And now I didn't have him in the first round last time. But this guy is a 7'1" wingspan. He's about 21 years old. Great defender. solid. Everything is developing, and over the season, everything got better. He's a fantastic player, fantastic defender. I mean, he can guard 5 positions, no doubt in my mind. I love Olivier. That's my pick. Get over it. 25. This was a Bobby Clemens spot for me early in the year. Now I'm not sure. I could see them losing Dillon Brooks. I like a Julian Strawther here. I also like Ben Shepherd a lot. We'll get to that. I could see. Is Julian Phillips still in the draft? That's gonna be something we have to look up. Man, this is tough. They're a team that always likes to take a shot in the dark on some random dude late in the first round every single year. Is there any guy that I'm like, oh yes, Mohamed Gueye? I think it's Guy. I heard someone say Guy, Mohamed Guy. I heard some announcers say that. I just don't like it. That's weird. Yeah, we're getting way too far down. Love of I can't even say his name. Evboam. I can't say it. I've heard it said a billion times. I still can't remember. Like, same with Adama. Anyway, tangent. I'm getting on a tangent. The Grizzlies need. I think they go Julian Strawther here. That's just a great 3-and-D wing. He really showed his 3-point. The potential for he was the star player on the team while strictly shooting threes. Like it's incredible what he did this year. What was I looking up? Oh. Who is this? The Pacers. I think, continuing to get wings is important, especially 3. I think they need the 3, the small forward position. I do like Jordan Nwora. I think he showed some flashes last year. I think this is a perfect spot for Maxwell Lewis, who not a good defensive player, pretty good offensively. Colby Jones is here too, though. I just feel like after last year go Colby Jones. Colby Jones is the best player available for a team that really is kind of getting closer than people think to competing. I think I like this pick. Yeah. Moving on. 27. The Hornets. They got 5 picks in this draft. Jet Howard. You pair him with Scoot. You pair him with LaMelo. That's a great shooter to have on the wing. That's a terrible defensive 3 guys, but I don't hate it. By the way, it's 1:24 and I'm tired. So if y'all hear that sinking in, I'm sorry, man. It's 1:24 a.m. by the way, not 28 Jazz. They've taken Kaysen. They took a developmental guy. I don't hate Ryan Rupert. I kind of like it. I like the jumper. City Sissoko, great playmaker. Andre Jackson feels like he fits here. Andre Jackson is kind of a Ben Simmons type guy, I would say. Just on a lesser version. 6.7 points, 4.7 assists, 6.2 rebounds. He's a really good athlete. Not a great shooter whatsoever. He's just fun. He brings energy. I don't love him at the end of the first round is the problem. That's the big problem. Ben Shepherd I do like at the end of the first round because he's just fantastic 3-point shooter. He was definitely worrisome from the free throw line, and that's something that Jake's probably watching this right now. That's a conversation me and him have had is how much does the free throw percentage correlate to the 3-point percentage in the long run? And I think it does a little bit. Julian Phillips is in the draft, by the way. That's interesting. Because this is a guy who, he's not going to be a first round guy, but it's interesting. I'm thinking way too hard right now. Jazz, just go. Let's go with way too hard. I actually like James Najee here. This is a really developmental piece. 7'7" wingspan, really strong. He's like the youngest guy in the draft. He's 18, and he'll be 18 when he's drafted. Yeah, James Najee, great fit for them, I think. The Pacers, if I didn't take Taylor Hendricks, Taylor Jenkins, just shouting out the Grizzlies coach. Um, I would take Chris Murray if I hadn't picked Taylor Hendricks. I think it's Maxwell Lewis time. Great scorer. I worry about the scoring. I think he could fall. I don't really like that I took him right now. I wish I'd gone Chris Murray now that I'm thinking about it, but that's all right. 30. I think the Clippers are going to go with a curveball here. Amari Bailey. When he was without Jalen Clark, he showed some flashes, man. And we know he's got the athleticism. He's a pretty good playmaker. He's a really good point guard, man. And without Jalen Clark, I think he averaged something like 17 points. The 3-point shot was really good this year. I don't know if that's gonna be real, but it was great. Next team, Pistons. The Pistons need something. I don't even know what that something is. I think Chris Murray's a good glue guy for them. You went Jarris Walker in the first round. Chris Murray in the second round is pretty good value. Pacers again. You've gone Taylor Hendricks, Colby Jones, Maxwell Lewis. You got 32 and 55 upcoming. I like City Sissoko here. City Sissoko is a guy I'm really in love with. Great playmaker at the 2 position. Really good build. Not a great scorer by any means, but defensive playmaking. Just a good player. Here is the Ryan Repair spot, I feel like. It's a team in the Spurs who love their overseas guys. They love developing prospects. Ryan Repair needs some development. He's got a good-looking shot. Other than that, he's a little worrisome. Hornets. They have like 3 picks in the next 7. They need anything. I like Andre Jackson Jr. a lot here. Andre Jackson Jr., Ben Simmons type player, glue guy, high energy, as I was talking about earlier. Celtics. This is where it gets interesting because you're getting winning teams who need winning players. And a winning player that I like on the Celtics is Jalen Wilson. Can use him as a stretch 4. He was really good this year. He averaged 20 and 8. Stretch 4, good defender. I like that to the Celtics. At 36 to the Magic. I think you either go pure score or you go, I don't maybe a true wing, like a Ben Shepherd true wing. Maybe you go down here and say, hey, Jordan Walsh, kind of a guy to tie it all in. Let's see. Let's go. We'll stay up here. Probably staying on this little spot. I think we go Marcus Sasser. He's a guy you can bring off the bench. He's going to be a good, he's going to be a good, decent scorer, good playmaker, great defender, good glue guy. I think eventually that team's trying to compete, and I think he's a perfect guy to help. Guys who can cut is what the Nuggets need. If you can cut, if you know how to play basketball, Nugget. A guy who I really like here is Jaime Jaquez. He just knows how to score. He's 22 at this point. He feels like he's 30. Jaime Jaquez is a great scorer. He's got that knack, right? And I think he's a little bit underrated just because he does feel like he's 30. The Kings, like I said, need some rim protection, I would say. But I don't hate like a Jordan Walsh here. I mean, it's the second round. In the second round, you take a lot of guys. You take kind of shots on guys. I don't think they need any more shooting. I don't think they need any more scoring. Brendan Podziemski, I'm just waiting for that perfect team to come around. Ben Shepherd, I don't hate, but I feel like I feel like they have a lot of wings, right? Or am I wrong here? I feel like Ben Shepherd's a good fit here. Ben Shepherd, great shooter, really great shooter. That's really what he is. He's a great shooter. 39. I think Homer pick Terquavion Smith. Yeah, Homer pick Terquavion Smith here. Boom. Terquavion, great scorer. I don't love him, but I do at the same time. It's love-hate relationship with him. 40, we got the Nuggets. Best player available, Brandon Bonzimski. I think overthinking with the Nuggets is stupid. The Hornets. This is interesting because they've got an array of prospects here. They have a solid team. I don't hate like a Kobe Brown. This guy, do it all type of guy. A little old, but just a good player. I'm gonna go Kobe Brown, man. Kobe Brown. I wish I'd talked about him in my favorites. He is probably my favorite player in the second round by far. Great all-around, do-it-all player for you. Do whatever you ask him to do. He shot like 54% from the field, 44% from three. He was fantastic, man. 42nd pick, the Wizards on the clock. I don't hate Muhammad Gee. Develop guys. Get guys who you can really just develop. And that's what I think Muhammad Gee is. He needs a little bit of developing. He's got all the tools. Good good pick and roll guy. Solid defender. Works in the low post well. That's why he's probably more of a power forward. I like Muhammad Gee here. 43. Ooh, we got 15, 16 picks left? This feels like a spot for either Seth Lundy, good, just prototypical 3-and-D guy. I mean, he should probably go higher than what he's going to go. Or Jordan Walsh. I think you got so many wings and so many guards, I should say. You need him just... Jordan Walsh can do whatever you need. He can do whatever you need. 44 to the Spurs. Give me... They have a lot, too. I don't hate Seth Lundy. Jalen Clark's, 21? Yeah. Isaiah Wong's 23 at this point, right? Something like that. I feel like this is a spot where you go to Tosan here. Now, here's the thing. 6'8". He was one of the tallest people on the court. He played point guard a lot. And I'm really going into the, overseas type with the Spurs, but I like Tosan a lot. Out of Princeton. 45th pick to the Grizzlies. The developmental Julian Phillips out of Tennessee. 46th to the Hawks. I like Trace Jackson Davis there. We're going to start rapid firing, man. 47 to the Lakers, Seth Lundy. So you get Jordan Hawkins and Seth Lundy. That's a win for the Lakers. 48 for the the Clippers. That's how tired I am. It is 135. I think they keep a guy at home. Pair up. I like Jalen Clark there so much, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't like Hunter Tyson that much. He's a fifth-year senior. He kind of did everything this year for them. Just don't love him. Drew Timme's not going here. I can see like a Jalen Pickett. Demoy Hodge is a straight shooter. Maybe a Charles Bediako. We'll go Bediako. Let's go Charles Who else is down here? Serge Jabari Rice. Jalen Slauson. I like Jalen Slauson here a lot, actually. Good do-it-all guy. He can do anything. Also, good defender. Cavs. That's an interesting pick. It's an interesting spot. Chris Livingston I like a lot. I misclicked and went down all the way here. His video is unavailable. It's interesting that he's in the draft, but I do like him a lot. I think he is going to get drafted. 49's a good spot. 50th pick. Thunder. Let's go ahead and go. Just making sure there's no one else down here that I'm like, oh, yes. Jacob Toppin, solid. Alright, we're chilling. Let's go ahead and go with... What would the Thunder do? Some thundery stuff. Probably Mojave King. Out of the G League Ignite. He's had some, pretty, not so great years. Underwhelming is the word I'm looking for. Nets. Go ahead and go Jalen Clark. I love Jalen Clark. I think he's a great scorer. He's a good rebounder for his size. Suns. You got KD. You got Bradley Beal. Let's go Monty Bates. You could probably... They've worked out like 7 guys. I just don't think they're taking it that serious. They could probably try and find someone here. I don't think they're going to find really anyone, but... Keontae Johnson feels like a Timberwolf. I don't know why. Just an elite athlete, maybe. Great athlete who shot the 3 really well this year, and great story. I really like the Timberwolves a lot, honestly. Kings. He also feels like a king. Because he is a king. Go, King. Do you want another shooter? If you do, Demoy Hodge is your guy. Did I not draft Charles Bediako to someone? Draft Charles Bediako to the Kings. I like that a lot. Pacers. You have these 5 guys. Isaiah Wong. True point guard. I like that a lot. 56th. Tristan Vucevic. It's pronounced so weird. Pick has been forfeited and will not actually be selected. Well, let's just, filler. We'll do a filler. Not going to touch either of these 2. I think these 2 will be drafted. We'll go Marquise Noel. Shout out Marquise. I want to talk about him. That's why I'm drafting him. He's a fantastic playmaker. He fits the Isaiah Thomas bill of just being counted out his whole life. He goes to K-State. Fantastic season, and he's counted out again. Someone give this man a chance. Anyway, this pick's not real either. Drew Timme. Yeah. All right. Wizards. Why not? Why not, man? Why not? I love Jalen Pickett. This guy, literally the definition of a forward in a guard's body. Or a guard in a forward's body. No, a forward in a guard's body. Strong. Good shooter. Great post player. And perfect for the Bucks. Exactly what they need. Shooting. Demoy Hodge really spaces the floor well out of Missouri. I'm definitely missing some guys in the second round. Second round got pretty weird. But I like the draft overall. I think the first round is pretty close to what it's going to end up being. I'll see y'all soon. I'm going to try and live stream for the draft. I'm sure this video got really bad at the end. I got really tired. I hit a wall. But I hope y'all enjoyed. A really long video. I hope I made one of y'all's day. If I did, go ahead and like, subscribe, and you know what I'm saying? Peace.